August 30th, 2020. 64 days until November 3rd. 64 days until the re-election of President Donald J. Trump. The pandemic. The pandemic is unraveling. The pandemic flattened the curve. Give the hospitals time to regroup, to get ready for the onslaught of victims that are going to be coming in, lining up at the door to be taken care of for the CCP virus, the Chinese Communist Party virus, released out of the Wuhan lab, knowingly, by the Communist Party of China. The CDC quietly announces today on a Sunday that 6%, roughly 9,700 of the deaths, died of the CCP virus. Didn't die with, died of. And most of them were elderly people. We've been through the numbers before. People younger than 55 years old rarely, if ever, die from the China virus. Kids definitely don't die of it. They barely even know they have it. But yet we closed our schools. And we are keeping our schools closed, or at least the Democrats are. The second release today was that asymptomatic spreading is extremely rare. That's what they keep telling us. We need more contact tracing. Contact tracing does nothing except tell you that somebody tested positive for it. Doesn't tell you the level of the infection. It's the same for the other statistical release that the CDC did. Of those 9,700 deaths, it didn't say what the percentage, like how much of the virus was in them, of the people that died in motorcycle crashes, of heart attacks, of diabetes, of high blood pressure, whatever that comorbidity was. How much was it participating? How much was the China virus participating in that death? Or was it years of eating like a fat slob, living an unhealthy lifestyle? That's what killed them. And yet, we shut down the entire nation. We are forced to wear face diapers, even though there's no evidence that it stops the spread. There is evidence that it's actually harmful. And yet today, you have to go into an exercise facility, you go into a gym, and you have to wear a cover over to your mouth, which increases the amount of CO2 that remains inside of you. It's ludicrous. But yet, people are sheeple in the United States in 2020. We've closed businesses. We've taken away the livelihood, which increases suicides, marital strife, abuse, criminal, sexual abuse of children. We've closed the worship for churches, but somehow we didn't close the worship in mosques, and nobody talks about that. We continue to allow big box stores to be open, Home Depot, Costco, the grocery stores, but yet we close mom and pop stores. You can't go in there. The schools are closed. We're doing things online that is fantastic because it's exposing the worthlessness of the public school system in the United States. Union-controlled, union-dominated, union-focused. The teachers' union is the focus of the school system in the United States in 2020, and it has been for decades. We allow prominent funerals to take place with no face masks, without social distancing. John Lewis, for example, he had something like 10 funerals. All the politicians, all of the wealthy politicians, all the Democrat politicians attended. Marion Bowser, Washington, D.C. mayor, came up with a law, an edict that said, if you go out of town from Washington, D.C. and come back, you have to be quarantined for 14 days. Yet, here's the surprise, if you're a politician, you're exempt from that law because politicians apparently can't get the CCP virus. Also at protests/riots. Those are okay. We're not going to arrest you for anything. You can burn down black businesses. You can smash people in the head with bricks. Wear a mask? Nah, you don't have to do that. But if you're just some jamoke walking down the street, white guy, you're going to get a ticket. You're going to get a fine. And where did this law come from? It's unconstitutional, but not even the lawyers are touching this. They won't take him to court. We used to have a constitution. Technically, we still do have a constitution. But if nobody presses the Constitution when those constitutional rights are taken away, do we really have a Constitution? We knew that the Democrats would look for an excuse, and this China virus was very convenient. It came at just the right time. They want to get mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are easy to corrupt. Fraud is rampant when there are mail-in ballots. Nevada wanted to do 100% voter rolls, mail-in ballots. Normally for mail-in ballots, the voter requests it. Here in Nevada, they're so corrupt, Harry Reid, they sent out ballots to everybody on the voter rolls. Each state is responsible for their voter rolls. For the last 20 years, the Republicans have tried to get the voter rolls cleaned up. People move. People move every year. People die. People die every day. Do they register them at the motor voter? Are they legal Are they here in the country legally? You have a driver's license, you get a ballot. The mail-in ballot is obviously easy to manipulate and to create fraud, to vote for your candidate. Also, the post office can't handle the influx of all of those ballots. They're not going to be able to get it on time. So we're not going to know who the president is, even the stolen president, on January 20th at inauguration. They like that. They like the chaos. They're doing this because they want to avoid exposing Biden. Not afraid to expose Biden to the CCP virus, but the public. They're afraid to expose to the public Biden's dementia, Biden's racism, Biden's corruption. The longer he stays in the basement, the better off it is. And the Trump campaign hasn't even started to talk about all of the corruption in Joe Biden's past. His ineptness, they're going after that full bore. The administrative state is also using the CCP virus to stop Trump's rallies. That's a huge vote getter. Trump is a very charismatic, honest, creative man, and that gets exposed. His personality is fantastic. And those rallies, the Democrats' heads explode, but it converts people. It converts those independents into Trump voters. And the Democrats know that. So this, another side effect, CCP virus, social distancing, no Trump rallies. Always positive ending. Closing the schools is going to backfire because parents are going crazy with the kids in the house. They can't go to work, so they're going broke. And it's also going to upset the unions because now Trump is coming out and in a nice jiujitsu move, he's calling for the dollars to follow the student, not the union teacher. Right now, all of the money goes into the school systems. Trump is calling for a voucher system so that those dollars go to the student and they can choose whatever school they want to go to. School choice, charter schools, breaking the back of the union because the union is only looking out for the union. Not that you had any doubt that what I'm saying is correct. Look at what's going on in Kenosha. Nobody seems to care about the COVID up there. Not even a mention. Not even a mention. All they want is chaos. If it can't be from the COVID, if it can't be from the masks, if it can't be from closing down your businesses, they're going to create murder in the streets. Surprisingly, they are only in Democrat-controlled areas. As always, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and don't be afraid to speak up.